Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this video, we are going to be using sentence variety to strengthen our writing. All right, so when we talk about sentence variety, we're basically talking about using an assortment of sentence patterns, sentence lengths, and rhythms. So sentence variety is what gives your writing a better rhythm and a flow. It makes your writing more mature. So if you think about children's books are usually written using very simple sentences. The best example I can think of are the See Spot Run books. All of those sentences are the same length. It's very repetitive. It gives the book a rhythm, but it is a very simple rhythm that if you were writing for adults, it wouldn't really be appropriate. So when you are writing more sophisticated writing, you want to make sure that you don't just have all simple sentences. You have a combination. You have some compound sentences, complex sentences, and some simple ones. So to create sentence variety, a writer is going to mix long and short sentences together, use a question sentence, a command sentence, or an exclamatory sentence, a mixture, again, of the three most common question types. And you can also vary the beginnings of your sentences, and that's a really great way to add a little variety. If every sentence starts with the subject and the verb, that can also get repetitive. All right, so now how do we use sentence variety? Well, the first thing is the simplest one. Don't use all simple sentences. This is going to make your writing very choppy. An example is like, we went to the movies, we went out to eat, we came home, we went to bed. Very, very boring sentences, very choppy. They're all starting, first of all, with the exact same pronoun, the exact same subject. So that's boring already. And then it's, of course, being followed up with the verbs. So it's the same pattern for every sentence, and they're all very short. So the simple solution would be to combine some of these sentences together. You can combine independent clauses, aka sentences, and dependent clauses together. Dependent clauses are phrases that cannot stand as a sentence all by themselves, usually because they're missing a subject and a verb. So by doing this, by combining independent and dependent clause, you create compound and complex sentences. You can also use transitions to start your sentence instead of the same old subject, noun, pronoun. So a revision of these choppy sentences would be, we went to the movies, and then we went out to eat. So then you've got here the combination with a comma and a conjunction. So that took two sentences and bam, you've got a longer sentence. And then here we're going to start with a transition. After that, comma, we came home and went to bed. So you've got a double whammy here. You're beginning with a transition, a phrase, and then you're combining two sentences with the conjunction and. All right, another strategy is to join ideas using an ing verb form. And so you would actually start your sentence with a verb that ends in ing. So an example would be two separate sentences like this. She studied all night. She passed the exam. There's clearly a cause and effect relationship here. So you can say that one thing is leading to the other, or because she did this. In this case, I'm going to skip the word because. I'm going to say having. Having studied all night, comma, she passed the exam. Now, when I added that ing verb to the beginning of the sentence, I turned this first sentence into a dependent clause. By itself now, it cannot be a sentence because I added this word. So that means I had to team it up with the second sentence, which still is an independent clause. If I was to delete this, she passed the exam could still be a sentence by itself. All right, next, you can join ideas using an ed verb form. So it's the same idea as the previous slide, except instead of it being having, it would be a past tense verb. The student ran through the hall screaming. The student was amazed at his grade. When I combine those two sentences together, what I'm going to get is amazed at his grade, comma, the student ran through the hall screaming. Once again, I've taken the first sentence, or actually in this case the second sentence, and I've made it the first part of the sentence. I've turned it into a dependent clause. If I was to end the sentence here now, because I started with an ed verb, it couldn't be. Amazed at his grade is not a sentence. But when I combine it with the second sentence with that comma, the dependent clause and the independent clause form a more complex sentence. All right, another strategy is to join ideas using an appositive. So you might be wondering, well, what is an appositive? Maybe you haven't heard this word in a very long time, or maybe not ever. But an appositive is very simple. It's just a noun phrase that renames a noun. So it's like if you say, Miss Arlequin, comma, my ELA teacher, comma. The phrase my ELA teacher is the appositive. It's a noun because it's the name of a person, ELA teacher. It's just a general name for a person. It's not the specific name. But it's giving you more information about who Miss Arlequin is. So you can do that with these two sentences here. Miss Bonnie helped me with my paper. Miss Bonnie is our class tutor. Class tutor is who Miss Bonnie is. This could become the appositive. Miss Bonnie, comma, our class tutor, comma, helped me with my paper. So there you've taken two sentences and you've revised them into one more complex sentence. Okay, and finally, you can do two additional strategies. Now, these are not the last two strategies ever for sentence variety, but they're the last ones we're going to cover in this video. You can begin your sentences with an adverb, which would be words that typically end in ly, although they don't have to. We know that adverbs are words that describe verbs. So luckily, I won the lottery last night. So you're describing how you won. You won with luck. Unfortunately, no one passed the exam. It is unfortunate that nobody passed. And yesterday. So adverbs can also tell time. Yesterday, comma, we went to the zoo. If you begin your sentence with an adverb, please note that you have to follow it up with a comma. All right, and finally, you can begin sentences with a prepositional phrase. And you'll notice that prepositional phrases tell time or they tell locations. In the morning, comma, same thing as adverbs. You're going to end your prepositional phrase with a comma to separate it from the rest of the sentence. Usually after the prepositional phrase, you're going to have the subject and the verb, like you see in these sentences. In the morning, comma, I hope to feel better. At lunchtime, comma, I'm going to meet some friends at Red Lobster. Or under the desk, comma, you'll find your notebook. All of these make your sentences a little bit more interesting than if we took the phrases out. I hope to feel better. I'm going to meet some friends at Red Lobster. You'll find your notebook. All of these sentences, if that was the paragraph, they all have the same kind of flow to them. Adding these prepositional phrases just adds a little variety. Now you got to be careful though also. You don't want all of your sentences to begin with prepositional phrases or with adverbs, because if you do it to all the sentences, you're just creating the same problem in reverse. You're still going to have sentences that are boring and that all begin the same. Part of sentence variety is that maybe a few sentences start one way and other sentences start another way. So there is variety. They're not all the same. All right, so it's time to practice. You're going to complete the sentence variety practice paragraph that you received in class today, and make sure you bring it to tomorrow's class. Good luck.